Steph Curry breaking the all-time three-point record. And the game's hot take is Steph Curry's record will never be broken in the NBA. And that's on period. What are your thoughts?
I disagree with that. I think it will be broken because I don't think the NBA will move away from shooting more threes. So the next generation of talent will definitely have even more volume in terms of three-point attempts. And whether or not they're better than Steph, I don't know. But just on volume alone, I think someone will eventually, take over the spot.
I absolutely agree with that. I think with the rate like the guys are shooting in right now, you look at guys like Trae Young, they just keep on shooting from beyond the arc, higher than the numbers that even Steph Curry did when he started out in the NBA. So the game has changed, and I think that's the reason why that record will be reached. The only untouchable records, in my opinion, assists and steals of John Stockton because they're just too big, too much. All right, Bill, let's go.
All right, next one this week, the LA Lakers received some bad news with Anthony Davis sidelined with yet another injury. So our second hot take is, Tyler, Anthony Davis will never be a top 5 player in the NBA again because of his injury problems. And I can see Pao in my peripheral vision not agreeing with this, or agreeing with this rather. What are your thoughts, guys?
Pao knows I'm a Laker fan, so I gotta trust in my boy AD. So I think that's not true. Just wait till 2022. I think he definitely hasn't been the same since they won the chip, but I think sooner rather than later, he's going to get back to that level. So do you trust Laker fans?
So do you actually think that Anthony Davis was a top 5 player in the first place? That's my other question here, because I could argue that even their championship year, he might have been on the bubble of entering top 5 and not a definite choice for top 5.
He was definitely in the conversation before, especially in 2020. But right now, he's definitely not in that top 5 conversation. So, yeah.
Oof. All right. I got into a fight with a writer about that just a while ago. But anyway, let's move on.
Let's not talk about
Let's not talk about that. Ken, I'm looking at you.
All right, moving on. As we all know, COVID protocols have continued to hinder the Brooklyn Nets, and Kyrie Irving's return was cut short even before it began. So our hot take number 3 is medyo controversial. Kyrie Irving will never suit up for the Brooklyn Nets ever again.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, they just allowed him to play away games, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I think he's bound to play for them. It's just unfortunate that he had to enter the health and safety protocols like 30 minutes after they announced that, but I'm sure he'll be back for the Nets soon.
That's really interesting because yes, he was, they asked him to come back to play away games because of the restrictions there in New York. But then he entered COVID-19 protocols, health and safety protocols in the NBA again, and because of his status as an unvaccinated player, he needs to have 5 negative tests going into an actual game. Now, considering the situation in the United States right now, I'm not sure if that's going to happen this particular season. But if we go beyond this season, I have more hope of Kyrie Irving coming back. It will be a bit difficult. It's going to be a rough road for the Brooklyn Nets. But my question to you here, Tyler, with regards to the Nets in particular, I know that they want to keep afloat. That's why they want to get Kyrie Irving back. But do they actually need Kyrie Irving back to make it to the promised land in the playoffs with this current roster that they had, assuming that the COVID-19 situation with the Brooklyn Nets is a bit better?
I think they do need Kyrie because, KD and Harden obviously are great players, but when it comes to the playoffs, you can never have too many, offensive options. And I think Kyrie will give them that extra dynamic playmaker that they'll sorely need, especially when defenses start to tighten up during the playoffs.
Now, Tyler, what can you say about the trade rumors concerning Irving and Porzingis?
Rumors are just rumors, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Would you do it though?
That.
Would you do it?
Ooh, if I were the Nets, I might think about it because they're in win now mode. So if they want to win now, you gotta have Porzingis who can help you right now, who can man the middle. He can give you that extra shooter at the 5 position to open up the court for KD and Harden. So kind of makes sense.
All right. So let's see whether your GM prophecies could come true or not. I don't know. All right, Billy, let's go.
All right, so obviously things not looking too good for the Brooklyn Nets, which leads us to our last hot take, Tyler. The Bulls will have the best record in the Eastern Conference. What are your thoughts?
super impressed with what the Bulls are doing, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I still think it's either the Nets or the Bucks who'll end up with the top seed. But like I said, the Bulls have been amazing. I didn't expect them to be this good this early, and DeRozan and Levine were playing at insane levels. I mean, obviously before all the health and safety protocol stuff, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna be the top seed just yet.
All right, so just for everyone's context, right now at the moment, the Chicago Bulls are 19-10, just a couple of games behind the Brooklyn Nets, who are 21-9. And I'm actually looking at this. It's actually with the teams with 19 wins, or the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Milwaukee Bucks. So all the Cleveland fans out there are saying, "Hey, don't forget about us." But when you look at how the Bulls are performing right now, I wanna bring up a quote from Coach Yang Diao here in the PBA when he said, "You're only as good as your last RT-PCR test." Is their success, in your opinion, dependent on the health status of themselves and of the people around the East?
For sure. I think that's the case for most NBA teams right now. I mean, whoever has, most of their players available is definitely going to have the upper hand. And it's unfortunate, but that's the situation we're in right now with the COVID, with the worldwide crisis of COVID. So whoever has, the more careful players, the luckier players, and if they're available, they're going to have the upper hand for sure.
All right, just one really quick question here. Yes or no, are the Bulls back?
Yeah,
oh my goodness, I don't think they are. All right, Ty, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Tyler.
I don't know whether or not the Bulls fans will be happy with you or not, but thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys.